Creating melodies is like one of the most important and foundational skills that you want to be able to have as a producer. It comes in when you want to make your top lines, right lead vocal lines, bass lines, almost everywhere. But I also feel like it's one of the most easily misunderstood. You've probably seen some of your favorite producers effortlessly come up with really, really cool melodies. While for you, even if you feel like you have the same notes, for some reason when you play the same notes as them, it still doesn't quite sound the same. So in this video, I'm going to break down the knowledge that you need to start making incredible fire R&B style melodies. We're going to talk about some of the foundational principles that you want to know, just some tips and tricks that really help my thought process, and some other things that could potentially hold you back if you're making these mistakes. Let's get into it. So let me show you what I'm starting with. I've got just these drums, this chord progression, and this is a really key place that I get to where I'm like, I want a melody. So let's take a listen to what we got so far. You know that you know that floetry neo soul. Yeah. I'll make a feeling like you. Anyways, so I'm going to pull up, this is a lead from my Kaleidoscope pack, Tyler the Creator inspired Serum pack. It sounds like this. And one of the features of this particular patch that I created is that it's mono. So that means you can only play one note at a time, which is going to be super helpful for thinking about melodies a little bit, just going to help kind of instruct some of the tips I'm going to show you. So I feel like the best way to break it down is you can think of it as almost having three levers that you can pull. The first one being the actual notes you play. The second one being the timing, like when you play them, obviously. And then the third one, I feel like doesn't get spoken about enough. And that's actually the context. And I'll show you what that means right now. So if I just play, for example, is that a good melody? Well, by itself, how do we even know? Like, maybe it contains some information, but it doesn't really tell us a lot about whether it feels good. It's only when we drag it over the context of our drums and our chords that the melodies start to have relationships between each other, right? Let's take a listen. So there's some parts and there's some good parts, and we can only know that because we put it into the context of the entire track. So that's what the context's about. We know the three levers that we can pull. The first thing that I like to think about is pitch, because it's one of the easiest places to go wrong. This particular loop is in the key of A minor. I wrote the chord progressions. The chord progression is something like D, E, and then it ends on the A minor, the one here. So that tells me that we're in the key of A minor. That means for this particular chord progression, I can use the A minor scale. And guys, you probably expected it, but this is where I'm talking about music theory. Like, come on, learn. I'm telling you, it's so worth learning. I don't know why there's so many mandem saying that you don't need to learn music theory to make production. And it's true. Technically, you don't need it. But then, like, you don't need handlebars on a bike, but it helps. And it's the same thing with this. It helps. So I know how to find my A minor scale. I can start with the A major, flatten my third and my seventh, and it tells me all the notes that are going to sound cool in this scale. So if you guys ever see me, I'm just jamming and I'm over this, how do I find all of these? I don't even really know what I'm doing. It's a little bit of muscle memory, and it's also me knowing in the back of my head, I could fool on this keyboard, and if I'm playing the white keys in this case, it's going to sound okay. It's going to be in the key, right? So that's so powerful, because the deadest thing that I hear from beginners is because otherwise, how do you know? You're just guessing what feels right. You're guessing what feels wrong. It's hard to know when you have those guardrails and it's like, okay, here's some of the ones we can use. Wicked. And then once you know them as well, then you could start jumping out of the, do you know what I mean? You could start picking different notes or whatever, but there's nothing wrong with learning your scales and learning the chords you need. So in this particular case, I'm going to make a kind of MIDI track, and 100% something I recommend. Go to C major, A minor, same thing. I'm going to set my Ableton to the A minor scale, click highlight scale, boom. That's all I need. There's nothing wrong with being like, okay, let's use the scale helpers to build up a line, right? And we build in this. I'm just staying in the purple lines. I personally don't like the sound of F, but that's just, it's not wrong. It's just something I don't love right now. And I got it. Okay, so like the notes are right. The timing is booty cheeks, but the notes are correct. Cool. So that's where we move on to the next thing. How do I think it's helpful to learn to get a good melody? So there's two things I like to think about when we delve into actually breaking down a good melody. One is recognizing that like the transients, the beginning of your sound is going to have almost like a drum fill, percussive fill. So you can think about it possibly how you would like to with drums. That's an option. And I could go, for example, I could go dun, I'm thinking about it almost like my kick, and then maybe we just lengthen out some of these. That's one particular way. There's something I want you to notice is that if you have cool melody, cool timing, you don't even need to go crazy with the melody, right? Both of them can work well together. So like you'll see me all the time. If I'm recording in something, one of my favorite melody lines is to click record. That's basically no pitch. It's just one note, the correct, like a correct note, in this case, the second. And all I'm doing is just playing with the kind of the percussive nature of it, like I would a shaker, like where I want to clap, like. So that's something that I like to play with all the time, and it gets me really cool places. But there's a better way to find really, really cool timing. And that's this thing that the fancy word is audiating, right? But you see me do it all the time. I was literally doing it earlier in this video. You want to be singing your melodies. You want to be singing them because it saves you from just guessworking what you think sounds cool, what feels natural, and it starts you using what you already know with your voice and how you speak your language to come up with really cool things. When I told this to one of my students, they were like, oh, there ain't no way I'm singing it. Like, I'm not feeling comfortable, whatever. It's just you in the room. Just, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be right. You could just, yeah. Another thing is going to really help with your ear, and your ear is like one of the most important things, especially if you don't want to learn music theory. Your ear's got to be fire. So if you develop the ability of being able to hear a note and sing it, or even better, sing a note and find where it is. I don't have perfect pitch, so I've got to go and find a note like that. When you can do that, doors unlocked, bro. And can you see how when I'm doing that, my timing, good timing is already built in. That could be crazy. It's gonna be two more. There it is. Yeah, keep that part going. And guys, if you want like massive help with this, if you want to learn the scales, learn the music theory, learn how to sound design your own sound so you can pick up like, you know, the Tyler Creator synths that I learned and all that sort of stuff, check out the R&B Academy. That's the one place where I'm teaching basically everything that you need to know to upgrade your R&B skills. You've got multiple modules, plus you'll get regular feedback from me and other members of the community. So there is no way that you join and you don't learn. Do you know what I mean? There's lifetime access, so there's always new modules being updated. So you're gonna have loads of information. You're not gonna be alone going through in it. You're gonna be able to like ask me. It's not gonna be one of those courses where you kind of buy it and put it down. Nah, feedback, growth, success, all of those cool words. Check it out. That'll be the first thing in the description. So those are the two ways you can kind of start dialing in your pitch and your timing. there's that one last thing, that context is just like a little bit of something to keep in mind. It's cool because once you get it, oh my days. The thing that happens with context is you can have the same note playing and it will feel different because the chords underneath it have changed. So we're gonna go judo music theory right now, because the best way to explain this is, let me just take this part right here where we're playing a B over and over. Nothing changes about that. But over this part, over here, over this chord, you don't need to know exactly what note it is. It's the fifth, but we don't need to get fancy with it. Just notice that it feels different, right? Like, bop, bop, bop. And then when I play an A, you feel how the relationship, the actual B itself, is changing how it feels in relation to what chord you're playing. One of my favorite examples of this, let me see if I can actually show you guys. I'm going to speed this way up. I didn't even plan this example, but if I can replicate it, oh my days, you'll get it. We'll run it like this. You gotta go. Don't need no disrespect. So if I remember correctly, the chords to like Be My Girl is something like 1, 2, don't know if you gotta go. Don't need no disrespect. I won't fit into my world. I gotta make you see this. Okay, so we all know Be My Girl, Kate Renata, right? G major to F sharp. But it changes the whole context of the chord above it from being a G major to being an E minor. And then from it A major to this F sharp. Do you know what I'm saying? And yeah, we could do that all over the place. So this is what I'm talking about. Playing with the notes and the context of where you're playing those notes in is crazy. Is a crazy unlock. Like, I'm gonna tell you guys loads and loads and loads and loads and loads, because I try and use this all the time. You have a chord and you spread it out over multiple instruments and it makes the chord just feel absolutely crazy. So massive tangent, but you can use that in your melodies. You can use that in your bass lines. Start singing along to your tracks. Start using your scale helpers. Practice your timings like you're creating percussion, like you're creating drums. See where that gets you. If you want more help, check out the R&B Academy. By the way, if you've also been wondering what kits I use and all that sort of stuff, so all of these ones on the side here, a lot of you guys ask me where I find all of these kits. I've linked that as well. There's now a document where you can find links to all of the kits available. So I'll leave that down there as well, at least the 2025 edition, the ones I'm using this year. And that's it. If you guys want to see how I use these kind of techniques to make, I don't know, a Bakar video, check this one right here.